Welcome back to another episode of Stella, striving towards excellence in our marriage. I am your host, Natalie Joseph, and it is indeed a pleasure sharing with you. As we can agree, marriage is not easy. The purpose of this is to encourage, enlighten, and to, just make us aware that we are not alone. Marriage can become lonely. The experiences can cause us to feel isolated, feel as if we are the only ones going through certain things. And since I've started back last week, I started with menopause, and we're going to continue this week as I promised. Now, my situation being in menopause at the age of 47, it's not because, maybe it started and I didn't observe, the perimenopausal stage. Maybe I started experiencing symptoms and didn't pay attention. But being in full-blown menopause is as a result of surgery. I had a hysterectomy where my ovaries and my womb was removed. And as a result of that, once the ovaries are removed, menopause sets in. So I went in for the operation, and when I came out, I was in full-blown menopause. My experience has not been one with hot flashes, as I've said in the previous episode, but I've experienced insomnia. I still do. I've experienced the mood swings, because then again too, you don't sleep properly, so all of that can affect your nervous system. And I have had to learn to manage. And the management part of it takes some discipline. It takes some discipline, and it also takes understanding on the part of your partner. Some women experience the extreme symptoms of menopause where there's no desire for sex at all. They experience extreme vaginal dryness. They experience the mood swings, as we mentioned. They get headaches. They have the sweats. Not only sweating in the daytime, but extreme sweating at night when it should be cooler. They sometimes still experience the symptoms as though they're going to have their menstrual cycle. When it was approaching the time where my cycle, which was very regular, mind you, when that time was approaching, I still felt some of the symptoms as though I was going to have a period. I don't know if it was a psychological thing or if it was that my body was still trying to adjust to not having that flow. But that has subsided. I don't experience that anymore. But one of the things that I would like us to speak about is our moods, because when it comes to the moods, as married women in relationship, in the workplace as well, depending on our mood, we can be very difficult to deal with. And we have to be able to identify when our moods are going to be affected, especially if you have issues with your sleep at night that can offset a day of moods on an escalator. You can find yourself going up and down, or you can find yourself on a roller coaster where you have waves of from happy to sad to angry to, you're in a place of confusion. A lot of things can happen in a moment, in just a brief moment when we are experiencing menopause. So we need to stop and understand that it is not something that is meant to kill you, but if you manage it properly, we can have a functional life on a day-to-day basis. Management is important. What I do when I cannot sleep, I read. I look at inspirational videos. Well, I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, so therefore I look at teachings related to the Bible. I look at testimonies. I look at things that will feed my spirit and also calm my mind, because another thing that I've experienced is that what I would have in the past been able to manage in terms of my thoughts, like for instance, I have a task to accomplish. Before menopause, before the surgery, I know I have this to do and I would just go at it. No problem. Now, well, I wouldn't say in this moment, because I have learned to manage that. I would have difficulty in just gathering the thought about it. I would start to second guess myself. I would start wondering whether or not I am even able to execute this thing. Something that would be menial all of a sudden seem to be so much grander than it actually is. And sometimes I would start to feel insecure about what it is I had to do. And I realized that, wait a minute, Natalie, that's not you. That's not how you will. That's not how you manage situations. How is it all of a sudden this thing that you are accustomed to doing all of a sudden appears to be a massive task with so many complexities that you begin to feel overwhelmed? That is not you. And I had to draw back and I had to regroup. I had to identify what was happening with me. And the moment I realized that this is not really, it's all in your head, Natalie. It's really and truly all in your head. You need to get yourself together, focus. You need to manage yourself in this current situation, having this task to do before you can even start. So you have to plan properly. You have to organize, even if it means writing. Because sometimes too, what was happening to me is that I would find myself forgetting. I'm forgetting things that, but I just put something there. Where did I place this, or where did I put that down? As if listen, a lot of changes occur, and we take for granted, or those around us take for granted, but what's wrong with you? What happening with you? No, it's not what happening with you or what's wrong with you. We are going through a process at another stage of our life. We have to identify it. We have to recognize that what we are experiencing is normal. It is very normal. It is a part of our development. It's a part of the stages in our life, and we just need to be able to manage. If we cannot manage it, it begins to affect our functionality. When it affects our functionality, we are not at our optimal. We are not. Those around us not understanding what we are going through lose patience with us. Then we lose patience with them, and we are short-tempered, and we pick at them, and we nag, and we fuss, and they now become irritated with us. They being our partners, because they're the ones who we bounce off on and we beat up on. They now begin to withdraw. But we have to learn to, as we started off in the very first 2 episodes, we spoke about communication. We have to be able to communicate to our partners honestly what we are experiencing. They themselves need to become educated about what we are going through, because it's also a stage of marriage. You don't go up to the aisle with someone, go up there with a woman, and you say for better, for worse. What is better and what is worse? What degree of worse do we expect? We don't determine the degree of worse. So worse might just be menopause. Worse might just be this woman that you met, this woman that you were with in your youth, and you all were so bubbly, and she was so exciting and excitable, and you all did spontaneous things, and she was a joyous person filled with laughter. Now she's very sensitive, she's very moody, she's depressed, or she snaps at you very, very quickly for the simplest things, and you saying to yourself, what wrong with she, and what going on with this girl, and and I don't know this woman anymore, and you begin to withdraw. And then you find yourself finding solace somewhere else, either with your partners. When I say your partners, your partners, you start staying out late. You spend more time playing dominoes. You don't want to come home because home is no longer peaceful. And in worst case scenarios, some men find other women that they get involved with, not understanding that this is a stage that your wife is going through and she needs your support. Take a little time, speak with her, and even you, that woman, take a little time to be honest with your partner. And not just be honest, be transparent. Don't just say, I'm in a mood, full stop. Yes, you're honest that you're in a mood, but be transparent. Explain to him what you are going through. Explain to him what you think is causing that. And if it means that he goes to your doctor with you, sit in there and be informed adequately and professionally about what you are experiencing. Do not expect your relationship to get any better. It will only get worse, it will deteriorate over time, and then you may decide to go your separate ways, because then the distance between you begins to widen, the gap begins to widen, the comfort of him being away becomes normal, him finding comfort among his friends or with another woman, all of that may, you know, become so normal, or so, it's the thing to do, because home is no longer a place I want to be, and that is detrimental to your relationship. So in this, one of the most difficult times in the life of a woman, ladies, be transparent with your partner. It's not just about being honest, but being transparent. Be transparent. Don't be ashamed, and don't be afraid either, because as we said in the last episode, fear can overtake us. Okay? So partners, please have a little patience and try your best to be the person that your wife can come to and open up about what she's experiencing, and do your best to be her support. Practice being her support. So therefore, it's not going to be difficult when she really needs you. I am your host, Natalie. Once again, you have been viewing Stella. Looking forward to being with you again as we continue our discussion on menopause. Have a wonderful week, my people. God bless as we strive towards excellence in our marriage. See you next time.